Conspiracy people who think that people are giving signals, you just get off the stupid internet and stop with it. And he wasn't assassinated by Israel.
The minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, "Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck. But please call every pastor and pray." He had blood all over him. And
Pastor Rob McCoy also claims that Mikey is covered in blood.
6 hours after Charlie died.
don't you dare get in the way.
The Turning Point USA Wikipedia received a rather interesting update. Pastor Rob McCoy somehow got his own heading.
Listen up, because Candace Owens just ripped open a massive scandal right inside Fusa. And at the heart of this storm, none other than Charlie Kirk's former pastor, Rob McCoy. What Candace dug up is so explosive. McCoy is now desperately trying to erase all evidence, and he's even gone as far as threatening Candace directly. But here's the real shocker. Candace uncovered something way darker than McCoy's suspicious involvement with Charlie Kirk. She revealed that Pastor McCoy knowingly welcomed a convicted criminal into his church and, shockingly, gave this man access to vulnerable young members of the congregation.
And they want to see if you want to do a plea bargain before we get to a pre-trial.
Now, if you don't know much about Rob McCoy, here's the deal. He's the pastor at Evangelical Church, God's Calvary Chapel, and was once Charlie Kirk's spiritual advisor and close confidant. At least, that's the story everyone's been sold. But how real was that friendship? Because right after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, things started getting seriously strange for Rob and his son, Mikey McCoy, who was Fusa's chief of staff at the time. People began scrutinizing Mikey's actions moments before Charlie collapsed. The footage doesn't lie. Mikey was already stepping back before Charlie even hit the ground. And here's the chilling part. He didn't run or panic. Instead, Mikey calmly walked away, talking on the phone like nothing happened. So, who was he on the line with just seconds after the shot? It's almost like the call was already connected before the gun went off. Was it Erika? Pastor Rob? The story changes depending on who you ask, and that's where the whole thing gets even darker. Pastor Rob publicly said Mikey called him immediately and claimed Mikey was covered in blood at the scene.
The minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, "Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck. Please call every pastor and pray." I said, "Okay, son." He has wits about him. He was just directing. He had blood all over him.
But hold on. How could Mikey have blood on him? We saw him step away before Charlie even hit the ground, and he never got close after the shot. So, here's the burning question. Why would Pastor McCoy make up a detail that's so easy to prove false? Why mention blood at all? Was he trying to spin Mikey as a hero who jumped in to save Charlie, instead of someone who didn't even bother to look back to see if his friend was alive or dead? But the story twists again. Erika Kirk claims she was the one on the phone with Mikey right after the shot. According to a New York Times article, Miss Kirk was sitting in her mother's hospital room at 11:23 a.m. in Phoenix when she saw the number of her husband's longtime assistant, Mikey McCoy, appear on her phone. Looking back, she said she knew exactly what was coming before Mr. McCoy even yelled it. He's been shot. So both Rob McCoy and Erika say Mikey called them within seconds of the shooting. The only way that's possible is if it was some kind of group call, but neither ever mentioned that. Plus, their stories don't even line up. Erika says Mikey shouted, "He's been shot." Rob claims Mikey told him the shot was to Charlie's throat. Two completely different versions. Then there's the video. You see Mikey lift the phone to his ear, without dialing. No taps, no swipes, nothing. It's like the call was already connected before the gunshot even rang out.
Look at that.
The amazing Mikey McCoy.
Now, there are countless voices online pointing out that Mikey's reaction just doesn't feel real. In fact, many say it looks more like the response of someone who already knew exactly what was coming. But that's not all. There's another moment that really ignited the fire. Erika made her first public appearance since losing Charlie, and shockingly, she went out of her way to praise Mikey McCoy,
I want to thank the
calling
first
him
responders
amazing.
who struggled heroically heroically. And I want to thank the Turning Point USA board, the COO, Justin Strife, and my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy.
Wait a minute. Let's see that again.
And my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy.
And that's exactly what Candace exposed. Why is Mikey suddenly being hailed as a hero when the footage tells a completely different story? Everyone saw how he reacted, or more accurately, how he didn't react when Charlie fell. So why are people showering him with praise out of
USA
nowhere?
Orbit described Mikey McCoy in this very unique manner. I want you to take a listen to that.
Let me tell you who the heroes were in this whole thing. We're going to start with 23-year-old Mikey McCoy.
And that's when the great Mikey McCoy showed up.
And my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy.
My friend Mikey McCoy, the brilliant 24-year-old who at the time when Charlie was shot was 23 and was a hero that day.
I used to be known as Charlie Kirk's pastor, now known as Mikey McCoy's dad.
He clicked into gear eventually. It was amazing. Mikey was a heroic figure on that.
But here's where the story takes a much darker twist. Candace has just exposed something truly unsettling about Mikey's father, Pastor Rob McCoy, something that changes everything. It turns out Pastor McCoy knowingly allowed a convicted predator to work closely
I hope I'm saying his
with
last
the
name
youth
right.
in his
Thomas
church.
Kimono was a man who was factually put away into prison. I'm going to read you an email that I received from one of his victims who is now an adult. I was 8 years old, living in Dana Point, California, when Thomas approached my friend and I to help him find his cat. He took us to a park behind my house and tried to molest me before I ran away. I was a key witness in his trial before he was sentenced to 8 years in prison.
But this isn't Candace just speculating or spreading rumors. This man was actually convicted and sentenced to 8 years for those crimes. What's worse, former members of Pastor McCoy's congregation are now speaking out, saying this was an open secret and many left the church because of it. One person on X said, "I left right after being baptized there because of this." When I asked why Tom Samino, the convicted offender, was allowed to lead a small group, I was told it was both an oversight and that the leadership believed he had changed. But not once during this hour-long podcast did McCoy condemn the crimes. Now, circling back to Charlie's assassination, there's something else deeply suspicious about Rob McCoy. Just before the shooting, he gave a bizarre sermon claiming Charlie had changed his stance on key issues after a private talk at that Hamptons meeting.
We went
Listen to this.
The Pastors Summit, and it was phenomenal. Charlie has now pivoted with all the struggles and the division over Israel in the body of Christ, and now he's focusing on Islam, and he's taking on Islam, which is phenomenal, but his death threats have increased exponentially since that time because it is a religion of peace, you know.
He just set up that Charlie is endeavoring for more unity to stop talking about Israel, but he's getting a lot more death threats now. What? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, and why would you say that?
Now, why would McCoy bring up that Charlie started getting death threats right after he supposedly shifted his stance? Is this an attempt to frame Muslims for the threats before switching the target to Tyler Robinson? But it doesn't stop there. Things get even stranger. Podcaster Baron Coleman broke down Pastor Rob McCoy's sermon in a detailed video, and while he was live dissecting it on his stream, McCoy suddenly made the video private, and then later wiped it entirely from his channel.
The Calvary Chapel phenomenon and Rob McCoy's role in it, and it is wild. It is wild.
Other things, and you saw.
Have they pulled the video? No.
So now, with all these strange events swirling around Pastor McCoy, he's actively erasing evidence in real time. If he had nothing to hide, why would he do that? Well, according to Candace, Pastor McCoy's closet is stuffed with skeletons. She even questions if he's truly a pastor at all. Candace pointed out that many of these pastors in Fuse's faith circle are actually ex-military, so there's clearly a deeper, darker
and the one
story
thing
they're
that
not
has
telling
shocked
us.
me about Charlie and Turning Point USA is just how many military characters were surrounding him. Rob McCoy, another pastor, his father was the naval captain. His father was also the assistant chief of staff for psychological war.
So, is Pastor McCoy really the man he claims to be? Why would a pastor with a military background say, "We are not allowed to question anything about Charlie's death or his views on certain issues"? It makes you wonder, what exactly is he trying to hide?